Hello Pisces, welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. I'm super excited to have you here. Let's dive in and see how this eclipse has affected us. Let's see if anything's changed in the energy. All right, Spirit, please show us, what does Pisces need to know? What does Pisces need to know right now? Just keep in mind, guys, these are general readings, so take what resonates and leave the rest. Okay, for Pisces, how does the eclipse affect us? Okay, we're talking about a soul tie here. Oh, somebody made a mistake and neglected you. Your absence definitely, I feel like gave them some time to reflect and to think about things and to get some clarity about this situation. I feel like there were outside influences for a lot of you here. You know, other people, someone, your person possibly was, you know, really concerned about what appearances were to other people. They were searching for outside validation, or outside validation was important to them. It's weird. I have no idea why, but this card, I think because there's a lot of white here, it's very, very clean. It's giving me like you may have been dealing with a perfectionist, someone who was really afraid of judgment, criticism of other people, of not being perfect. Especially with this forgiveness card, because it's giving me like, I was so worried about perfection and what other people would think that like I prioritized it over what was really important, and now it's like I'm struggling to get over the fact that I did that. I've had some time to think about it, and I have felt your absence, and I realized what a mistake it was to have neglected you, to have not given you what you needed, to have prioritized these people who really don't necessarily matter. You know, maybe for some of them it could have been their family or somebody who does like matter more, but it feels like these people still are paling in comparison to how much this person is realizing you mean to them. It is weighing heavy on them that they do want to right their wrongs. They feel like a part of them is missing without you. So, you know, it feels like you were incredibly important to this person, and you still are. And I feel like they're realizing that like they didn't give you what you needed, and for what, for why, for something kind of insignificant, or something that ultimately doesn't maybe matter as much or add up to as much in their life. Okay, this is definitely a soul tie. It says, I always feel connected to you. But, you know, soul ties are oftentimes lessons, you know. And I think this person is having a real lesson. They are really getting clarity on what you meant to them and what your absence is doing to them. And it feels like it's like they want to start over. They want to have another chance. They're hoping that you can forgive them. They're hoping that they can forgive themselves. Oh my gosh, look at that. Forgive comes out again. Wow. Some of you, they're literally praying about this. I am like so drawn to this. Some of you, they may be Catholic. That doesn't have to be, but could be. It's a strong Catholic energy here. Wow. And this is even like a season of reflection for Catholics, with Ash Wednesday and Lent and, you know, the holy season here. But it's also, I just got about redemption and rising up, getting new life, transformation. So, wow. So this person is struggling with hope, I'm feeling, you know. They are definitely, again, I'm getting someone who's very hard on themselves, who it's almost like either other people expect perfection out of this person, or this person expects perfection out of themselves, or both. There's no room for error life. Like, I don't know what this is about. This may be something that's outwardly obvious or something that you know, but it could also be something that's really, you know, like a conversation they keep to themselves in their own head. You know, someone who's very like self-critical, who blames themselves a lot. But I do feel like this person is literally trying to manifest, or they are praying. There's a heavy energy of prayer here, like heavy energy of prayer here, where it's like, to be honest, like, I don't know, like, this is an extreme for sure, so put yourself on the spectrum wherever you are, but it almost feels like they feel as though you were the answer to a prayer or a manifestation, and that they neglected it when it was theirs, when it was right in front of them. And it's almost like they're feeling like it's like, look what God gave me, and look what I did with it. Look how I treated it. Look, I didn't even realize, I didn't even know what I was so worried about all the wrong things and wrapped up in all the wrong things that, you know, it's like God sent me an angel, and like, this is literally what I'm getting. So, you know, put yourself on the spectrum wherever it is, but it's like, and you know, I did not treat it that way. I did not covet it. I did not care for it the way that I know God would want me to care for it. Like, I don't know, this could be a very deeply religious person. I am getting God, definitely God here. So much more than like the universe, which is what I normally say, especially on readings. I am getting a strong, heavy Catholic faith. I'm getting genuflecting. I'm getting like kneeling as you go into the pews. Like, I'm just getting like the crucifix and everything. So I don't know, like, Catholic faith could be strong in this reading. Doesn't have to be though. It can even be just like this holy season could be really important. Yeah. And Easter, like leading up to Easter. This is, I feel like this is someone who's asking God to forgive them for messing up with the best thing that God ever gave them. Or, you know, there's some song that's also playing in the background of, look what God gave me, or look what God gave her. It's playing very soft, and I don't listen to that kind of music. Okay, so anyway, this person is really doubting that they're going to get another chance. This person is like, a chance like that comes along once in a lifetime, and I messed it up. They can't help it. They can't stop daydreaming about it. They can't stop wanting it. They can't stop thinking about it. They can't stop missing it. They're not able to let it go, but they really are feeling like there's probably no way they're going to get another chance with this, because they were careless. Wow. Okay. We're just going to dive in. I don't know. I'm going to just do something weird here. For Pisces, please. They might listen to country music, or I heard unpopular. So like unpopular music. I don't know what that means. All right. Okay. Like this, something. This is some heavy energy. I feel like this person can be very serious. They're having a spiritual awakening here with the Hermit on the bottom of the deck. There is something deeply spiritual about whatever is happening here. I can tell you that this is like someone's world is being rocked here. I feel almost as though your absence has brought them closer and closer and closer to clarity. I feel like, it's like they had some kind of initial reaction to things where I feel like with this King of Pentacles, they felt like, well, I mean, I showed up, I was solid, there's something here. Do you see the look on her face where her eyes are closed? Like she's not even looking at the pentacle. Her eyes are closed. And there's almost this attitude, this like vibe about her that is just kind of like, I'm above reproach. I'm the King of Pentacles. And it feels to me like this person has such a solid impression of themselves. Like there's this energy of just like kind of being beyond reproach. I don't know. It's like, I'm better than most people. Like it's almost like a confidence or a security in themselves that almost feels false. Their eyes are closed. Like I keep getting their eyes are closed. They're not seeing it. And they're not, it's almost like when you're so concerned about yourself, you're not concerned about the other person. And I don't feel, could this person be selfish? Yes. But I don't think it's the kind of selfish, if it is selfish, that is like, I'm the only person in the world that matters. It's like, I have not practiced going outside myself and considering other people's experiences. Or I have had such a solid experience in my own life that I haven't had to. Like, I've been very fortunate. They may even have money. They may come from a very solid place where they haven't had to question or they haven't had to suffer or struggle in ways other people have. So they're not looking at it that way. They're not looking at life like, oh, the difficulty. And honestly, this relationship could have come into their life at a time where maybe they were experiencing or had recently experienced a difficult ending. It was difficult for them, could have been a relationship that they tried to make work. Again, I keep getting this like perfectionist energy of like, I should do the right thing, or I always do the right thing, or, no one can question my character or my morality because I'm very solid and stable and I always do the right thing. I was raised to be the right kind of person and to do the right thing. Like, I don't know. I'm so getting that so strongly here. And like, there may have been a difficult ending where it was like, they didn't want to admit that it was over, or they didn't want to, like, they prolonged the inevitable, or they put themselves through a lot of unnecessary bullshit because they didn't want to fail. They didn't want to besmirch their reputation. So it's kind of like they were coming off of some sort of like difficult energy, but like almost like what they took away from it was kind of the wrong thing, sort of. Well, I don't want to say right or wrong, but like it was like there was a lot more for them to learn from that than what they did learn from it or what they took away from it. I feel like they came across someone that had no, they came across as someone who sort of had nothing holding them back. Like, I can make whatever decision I want to make here. It could have been dealing with an Aquarius or an Aries here with the full card energy. But it's kind of this energy of like, I can sort of do whatever I want, or I'm free to make whatever decision I want. But that 10 of Swords is obviously still impacting them. And the thing is, if we don't learn the lesson, we're going to continue to learn the lesson. We're going to continue to have experiences where the same lesson comes up. And, there's something about this Fool card that's giving me like actual Fool. Like, mean, a fool doesn't learn their lessons. I don't know if that's what it is, but there's something here where it's kind of like, you know, I'm free to make whatever decision I want to make, but like, I don't know, with the Seven of Cups in the center of the spread, it's just giving me, but like, I don't make a decision, but I allow myself to get mired down in confusion or in options or in, you know, my own thoughts or my own daydreams or my own fantasy land. You know, I'm not thinking about reality, or I'm not, you know, when you have only sort of had things work out for you except maybe one difficult ending, and the difficulty really came from your own ability to admit it was over or it wasn't right for you, rather than the fact that it was like brutally abusive or something. I don't really know what this is, but it was very draining and it was really hard on them. And I do feel like this is someone who has a very self-critical mind, who beat themselves up over it like it was a failure, or it was, you know, it was a stain on a reputation, or it was something that where people could say, hey, you're not perfect. Because with that King of Pentacles, I just get this vibe of like someone who needs to be seen as perfect all the time, you know, which is absolutely impossible. But it's like, I literally, it's like they did not learn the lesson. They were still in this energy of the Ten of Swords, and they were acting like they were just free to make the decision that they wanted to make. But I feel like their past was still, something was still affecting them. And it's kind of like they didn't let that be known or let that be seen, or, you know, it's like looking at this person, you never would have suspected that. With that white flower in his hand of the Fool card, it's giving me Death card energy, which it does symbolize that, but it's giving me like everything from my past is over. It's ended. It's final. And so I'm free. But it's not over and it's not final if you're still talking to yourself in your head about it. Okay, I do think that's important, but we're moving on. In the middle row, we have this King of Wands, Two of Wands energy leading off. And so this is someone who is at a decision point, and they are someone who knows what they want, right? The King of Wands definitely knows what they want. And they're at this decision point, and they're like, and see, it's like, this is forward facing. Like, this is like how I'm projecting myself, that like, yes, there's this decision and I know what I want, and I'm somebody who's quite capable of taking action on it. But if you look behind them, you know, what's behind this facade, you see the Seven of Cups and the Ten of Cups, which is like, I actually have a lot of questions around commitment or relationships, or, you know, whether or not true emotional contentment with another person is possible, or whatever it is. And there's also like, I have my fantasy of what that looks like, and I only want to choose what is my fantasy, you know, what is living up to this idealized version of this that I have in my head, what it looks like, what it smells like, what it feels like, what it tastes like. And it's like, it's the moment I decide that this is what I want, then I'll make the decision to do this. But that is a crappy position to put another person in, because it's like, you have to live up to this idealized version that I have in my head. Like, I can't just fall in love with you and who you are and see the beauty of you and just drench myself in and fall completely head over heels for what is in front of me, which is, you know, beautiful and incredible and a soulmate. I have to compare you against my idealized version, and I have to ask myself, well, even if it's not this way now, do I think it ever could be? Which is like definitely projecting onto you, but it's also could, especially for an intuitive, empathic person, make them feel like A, they're not enough, or B, that they start trying to show up for this person in as this idealized version, like someone that they're not, instead of feeling free to be who they are. This is not love. And, you know, really, you know what it's giving me? It's giving me the vibe that this person, wow, hasn't maybe even necessarily considered whether or not they love themselves. It's like their life is this projection of perfection, or it is like, this is my image. As long as I live up to this image, then, you know, nobody can really say anything about me. No one can really judge me, or no one can really find fault in me. Because it feels like someone who does not like criticism or judgment. And, you know, it's hard to be in a relationship when you don't like criticism or judgment. Because honestly, even, you know, just trying to meld lives with someone, right? Just like trying to move in with someone. I mean, you know, I tell you guys all the time, like, I absolutely love and adore my husband after 20, for almost 30 years, over 30 years together, but like married. But like, you know, we've had to come to this place. We had to arrive here. We didn't start here. You know, and I tell my kids that all the time, because they're like, oh, I want what you and daddy have, you know, and it's like, yeah, I want that for you more than anything in the entire world. I've prayed every day for my kids that they would have that. But the thing is, it's like they have an unrealistic idea of what it is, because they didn't know us when we were going through all the growing pains, when we were going through the, hey, put your dirty dishes in the dishwasher, hey, don't leave your clothes in the dryer, you know, stuff. And working it out and getting to a place of like, okay, this works for me. I'm comfortable in this arrangement. This is good. You know, okay, we have figured out this is what you do, this is what I do, and we both live up to meet that and exceed that as much as we can every single day. But, you know, they only see the well-oiled machine. And I don't necessarily get that this person had such an outstanding example of a relationship or whatever that they, you know, don't know how to work for it. I get that they have this like fantasy in their head of what they want or what they're gonna have. It's almost like I'm living my life to be perfect. So, and they have that expectation of the other person. So it's like, I do not even, it's just not realistic. And it feels like a fantasy, and it feels like something that no one could possibly live up to. Plus, even if this person were to describe their fantasy to you in real life, you know, and say, okay, this is what it is in my imagination, even your interpretation of what that is, like what you hear from what they say and what that means to you, and how you process that and then put that forward, it's impossible to live up to a fantasy. Period. And I feel like this person isn't really saying, you know, I have this fantasy of what emotional contentment looks like. They're just projecting, you know, I'm someone who's really in charge. I'm someone who's really together. I'm someone who's really stable and solid and reliable. And I know what I want. And when I see it, I go for it. When I see it, I choose it. And then you're standing in front of them like, okay, so if you are that person, why aren't you choosing me? You have no idea, because there should be nothing holding them back. And, you know, I feel like, right, because yeah, if you're what they want, then they'd be coming for you. And it's kind of like they're coming for you on some level. And I think they are even saying, wow, you know, you are what I want. But then they're not choosing you. They're like, they're just standing at the crossroads. It's literally bizarre. I mean, I think it would be a very confusing thing to experience as a person, you know, outside of the situation. So what we see next is the Eight of Swords around the Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups is our own authenticity. It's our own, it's our truth. It's the core of the core of the core of the core of our heart, you know? It is the thing that makes us completely unique. It's the thing that makes us, you know, it's us. It's our essence. It's the part that can't be seen or touched. It's just, you know, the best of us. And this person's got 8 swords around it. This is somebody who they have shelved this part of themselves at some point in their life in favor of this image of perfection. It's kind of like, oh, nobody wants that from me. They want this solid, stable, reliable guy, and I'm good at that, or girl, whatever. I'm reliable at that. You know, I can manage that. I can do that. I understand that. That's black and white. That's a pentacle, you know. That's just achieve good things and always set the benchmark and always do better than other people and put in more effort, be more reliable, be more stable, be more abundant. Yes, I've got that on lockdown. So nobody actually wants to even, the only thing is to be that way and to be that singularly focused in that sort of direction. It's like, I've had to sort of not think about what I want, because what I want might be diametrically opposed to this version of me that everybody seems to want and reward and, you know, appreciate and see as, you know, good, you know, or worthy, you know. And gosh, if I start introducing my true self here, or my authenticity to the situation, I might get criticism, I might get judgment. And I don't want to be criticized or judged at all, but I especially don't want to be criticized or judged for that part of me, because that would be very painful. So I protect it by just putting it on lockdown. You know, I've trapped it like a genie in a bottle and never to be seen or heard from again, and life is just better and easier that way. So it's almost like running your life like a business, you know. It's like, I don't have opinions. I don't have I like or I don't like. I have this is a sound choice or this isn't a sound choice. Wow. And I feel, Pisces, like you presented this person with a choice that it's like it was a sound choice, but it's like they weren't quite sure, you know. But it's weird because I feel like on either level, on any level, they could have been sure. So I think this projection of the King of Wands, Two of Wands, of like, oh, I know what I want and I am going to make the choice when I see it. I think that is fake. I think it's a facade. I think it's a false front. I think it's a mask. You know, because the thing is, I think you presented as a great option, like not even as an option, but as, I think you presented as the person that they should take a leap of faith toward regardless. And so I feel like their lack of making the choice was more about their perfectionism or their fear of failure or their insecurity than it was about you. Well, for sure it was. I mean, it always is, right? But it's just, I mean, it's giving me a very strong vibe of, yeah, like if I choose this and it fails again, I have another thing that besmirches my reputation. It's not going to look good for me. That might cloud people's judgment of me. It might make them think that I'm not this person. And there may even be imposter syndrome there. Anyway, we have the Three of Pentacles and then we have the Five of Pentacles in reverse. And, you know, the Three of Pentacles is collaboration. It's sharing a vision. It's sharing a plan. And I feel like Pisces, it's like, I think you really wanted that. And I feel like, you know, you may have had even other people in other situations that were working with you. I feel like you may have been even trying to just even balance this in, or it's kind of like, I feel like there are three main facets of your life. Could be like work or school and friends and this relationship. And it's like you were kind of mastering it, you were doing it, but it's like this is hard work. And especially it's like if that person isn't really showing up and they're not committed and dedicated to working with you on this, it feels and then you start to say, well, why am I so committed to this? Why am I so dedicated to this? Because it's kind of like, I feel like you're trying to have your own plan and your own vision for your own life, and you're trying to figure out how this person even fits into it. You've got your friends here, I feel like, or your coworker and your friend or whatever showing up, but it's like this other person is nowhere to be found. And so I feel like you may have left them out in the cold. This Five of Pentacles came out in reverse. But I feel like this person wants to come out of the cold is what I feel like. And I feel like you've sent them on their way to really think about what the hell it is they really want, and what they're doing. It's like you're not going to be an outlet or an escape or something to give them some false sense that they have something brewing that they don't. This is someone. You have the Knight of Wands with the Two of Pentacles here, clarifying this King of Pentacles. This is someone who it's like, it feels like they go all in. I don't want to say this is love bombing or whatever, because I think they're very serious. They're like, oh no, I desire this, or I'm attracted to this, I'm going to go for this. And they do it from a place of like security and stability. They do it from a space of confidence. But with the Two of Pentacles it's maybe even false confidence, because it's like they're going back and forth, and it's like they kind of go for it, and then almost maybe even immediately starts this energy of am I going to choose love or am I going to choose fear in this situation? Wow. You have the Ten of Swords being clarified by the Seven of Cups and the Four of Cups. And the Seven of Pentacles. Okay. So there's definitely a spiritual lesson tied to some past experience that left them really criticizing themselves. I do feel like they felt they got rejected, or something really let them down. They may have thought something was the fantasy and then gotten really bored and discontent with it. Maybe even realized that what they thought they wanted wasn't really what they wanted. But they kept trying possibly to make it work, and it made it worse and worse and worse. With the Seven of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, it's like, especially this one, it's like she's watering these, pentacles, right? And, it's like I've invested so much in this and I can't get it back, that's how I feel with that. What is this full card? Pisces, wow, you got the Six of Pentacles with the full card with the Star card energy. I'm sorry, I said that totally weird. You have the full card being clarified by the Star card with the Six of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. I know sometimes you're not able to see your screen, so I just want to say it properly. The full card, this is so crazy, because it's like this person is really afraid of looking like a fool. And I think this person, you made this person, I think, feel a little bit like a fool. I do. And I feel like they came at you like, there is absolutely nothing stopping me from going for my wish fulfillment. But we see there's all these things stopping them from going for their wish fulfillment. And it's all internal stuff. It's all like, I don't want to look like a fool. It's all, I had this really difficult ending. I thought something was the fantasy. I thought it was what I wanted it to be. And then it really disappointed me or let me down or rejected me. I have taken leaps of faith in the past. I do feel this sense that this person sort of came at you without necessarily having a plan. And I feel like with the Six of Pentacles, this could be breadcrumbing, but it can also be like sort of an energy of generosity or reciprocity. Like they may have showed up in an energy that you felt like they were able to give you something people in the past had not given you. It may have seemed like, wow, like maybe in the past people were hung up on past people or hadn't really gotten over the wounds of their past or weren't able to reciprocate. And it seems like this person showed up in your life in an energy that you thought that they were all the things that you were looking for. And they were treating you like you were their wish fulfillment, like you were their everything. So when it gets to this place of the King of Wands, Two of Wands, you're like, well, what the hell is the choice to be made here? If I'm your wish fulfillment, which is how you've come at me, then what is this? Wow. We have the Tower with the 10 of Pentacles clarifying this King of Wands, Two of Wands energy. You got the 10 of Pentacles standing in front of you, and you're a King of Pentacles and a King of Wands, and you're not choosing it. What the hell, dude? This is when it all comes crashing down. Because it's like, how are you standing at the crossroads? Like a King of Pentacles, King of Wands can see a good investment and oh my handsome, is the squirrel out there? Oh no, Bhakti, come here, Bubba. Come here, you handsome. Oh, you know, how are you in this energy? How are you as someone who's completely coming across like someone who has it all together and is completely capable of making this choice for themselves? And you're looking this choice right in the eye. What you say is your wish fulfillment and what clearly is a good investment and a solid and stable, you know, pathway to a legacy, to abundance, to everything that most people ever dream of. And you're questioning whether or not you should choose it? What? Why? And so what happens here is I have to face my truth, right? Why aren't I choosing it? I may say, well, I have this image or this idea or this fantasy of what I think, you know, love is or what emotional contentment is, and I'm just not sure it's this. Because love is a more subjective thing, right? It's not like dollars and cents. It's not like somebody can say, hey, you've got a, you know, well-educated, talented, smart, whatever, beautiful person standing here in front of you, that's ready to invest in you and that's ready to collaborate and really build something with you. I don't know if I feel it. I don't know if I have these feelings. And no one can judge that, right? No one can say, oh, well, certainly you have those feelings because, you know, you could say, you know, I feel something, but it could be a crush or it could be this or it could be that. You know, I'm just not sure, right? With the 7 of Cups, 10 of Cups. And so it's kind of like keeping this in some kind of weird limbo land, right? But the thing is, this Tower is like, there are cards flashing in front of my face. That absence card up there, that was like, it feels like I'm missing part of me. Those things, that's how it comes crashing down. It's like the absence of this person. You know you love them. You know you have feelings for them because you're missing them, because you're asking God to forgive you for jacking up their divine destiny, this person that they literally wished into being. They, you know, prayed upon a star or whatever, and here they get it, and they stand here and they go, I don't know what to do. I don't know how I'm feeling. I don't know, you know, and they fumble the ball, they fumble the star. And it's like, okay, you know, there's only one person that has to really face that consequence in that way. And that's this person, you know, where they know their truth. They know the experience they're having. They know that their heart is breaking. They know that they are feeling and missing and wishing, and even now they're fantasizing about the time they spent with the other person, recalling pictures, looking at it, feeling terribly sad. But it's this is like an ego death. With the King of Wands and the Tower here, this is like an ego death. This is like, I can't even hide from this. This is like, it is all falling apart. Like, I'm having to acknowledge this within myself because I can't act like I don't feel this, you know? Seven of Cups. Got the Two of Pentacles. And the Two of Swords. And you have the Two of Wands here. 2, 2, 2. Decision point. Wow, with the Nine of Swords. What is this really? What is this really? The Two of Pentacles and the Two of Swords are both cards that talk about decisions that we're not making. That it's like we're juggling between love and fear. We're tossing the idea back and forth. We're staying in this impregnated pause of I'm making a decision. The Two of Swords, I'm protecting myself. I'm pretending I don't see this. I'm pretending I don't feel this. I'm pretending I'm confused about this so I can just sit here in indecision, in no man's land. So I can sit here looking at my Ten of Cups, looking at my Ten of Pentacles, and choose my fear over what is standing in front of me, my wish fulfillment. You know, and with the Nine of Swords, it is fear and anxiety that made this person just stand here and run in place instead of make a decision. Wow. All right, what is this Ten of Cups? Four of Swords. Wow, with the Chariot. So, you know, I think you took your energy back, Pisces. With the Four of Swords here, I feel like you're not talking to this person. I feel like you're in separation. I feel like this person is living without instead of living with their emotional contentment. And I think in this absence, they are coming to terms with the fact that, wow, this was a life partner. This was someone I could rely on. This was someone that we could have had tremendous success. I wouldn't have had to bear the brunt of being the King of Pentacles all by myself. I would have had a partner. I wouldn't have felt like an imposter anymore because, you know, this person chose me and our life was our legacy. Our life was successful and victorious, and we were able to achieve all of these things that, you know, would have been beyond reproach, beyond criticism, beyond judgment together. With the Chariot card. And it's like, I'm just having to sit here in the silence and absorb this, you know, sit with this knowledge, sit with this energy that, like, not only was this my power couple person, but this was the love of my life. This was my Ten of Cups. This was my emotional contentment with another person. Damn, man, this is harsh. Eight of Swords, Page of Cups. Damn, you got the Death card and the Queen of Swords, Pisces. This is where you did it to them. This is, you know, the Queen, wow, with the Seven of Swords. You exposed to them their own misalignment here. Yeah, I think you had an ultimatum here with your Queen of Swords. We have that Three of Pentacles energy here that we talked about, where you're balancing all these things in your life, and they're one of the things you're balancing. And then you're like, hey, hold on a second. Why am I balancing this here? You know, is this person as committed to this? Are they wanting to be part of my foundation? Are we going the distance together? And so with the Queen of Swords, I feel like you asked them. The Queen of Swords can even be an ultimatum. It can be, it's a strong conversation. It's very brutal. It's very truthful. It's very honest. It's kind of like, hey, are you committed to this? Are we sharing a vision? Are we sharing a plan? Are we building this, or what? And I think this person didn't know what to say because they couldn't tap into their authenticity and their truth. They couldn't consult their innermost self and say, self, what are we doing here? What decision do we want to make? They made the cheap decision. They made the egoic, prideful, fearful decision. And that was to say, I'm not ready for a commitment. I can't commit right now. I don't know. You know, they may have, even with the Seven of Cups, come up with a myriad of reasons as to why they couldn't at this time make this decision. But we saw it was the Nine of Swords that was generating this energy of indecision and of the inability to make a decision, and that is fear. And so I think, Pisces, you said, okay, fine, I'm a Queen of Swords. I've learned this lesson before. I've been through the entire sword cycle. I know how not to make me bitter. I know how it can affect me. I'm not willing to go through the sword cycle again in this situation. So I'm going to cut this off right here. This is the end. And I think you left this person with their misalignment because they were like, wait, hold on a minute. I didn't want this to be the end. My heart hurts, Page of Cups. My innermost was in love and feeling emotional happiness and contentment like I probably had never experienced it before. Wow. 5 of Swords and Judgment with the 3 of Cups. Clarifying this 3 of Pentacles. Pisces, I feel like you have more going on in your life than just this relationship. I feel like you had other things that you were balancing this with. It can be a rich life on your own with, you know, learning your hobbies or doing what you love to do. It can be your work, your job, your family, your friends, whatever the case may be here. And I feel like, you know, you were kind of like, I'm not going to get stuck in this, you know. I think, you know, with the 5 of Swords, there is this initial feeling of being a little defeated. This could be something you've experienced in the past of not being chosen or not being picked. Beyond that, it is hard even for the most mentally tough to have someone that you choose, not choose you. And so there is this feeling of defeat. The wind goes out of your sail. But with the Judgment and the 3 of Cups, it's like, I refuse to allow this to get me. There's a rising up on your own here with Judgment and the 3 of Cups. It's like, okay, I'm going to focus on the things that celebrate me, that do choose me. And I think you put all your energy into that. I think that it's uplifting you. I think it's uplifting your energy. I think it's giving you vitality and booting you back into life here. Okay, the 5 of Pentacles in reverse with the Ace of Wands clarifying it. Wow, with the Knight of Swords. So this person may feel this energy, this resurgence of life and infusion, and you're doing really well without them, and they may not be doing as well without you. I mean, we see this. They're like praying. They're like getting very spiritual. This is even giving me like samurai energy. Oh my God, this person cannot stop thinking about you. Well, I'm not trying to laugh. But do you see the side eye on this guy? It's like he's looking over like completely jealously, because for one thing, he may be worried that you are pairing off with someone else, or he may be seeing you spending time with other people or investing in other people, and he may not like that. He may be a jealous type. But when I say he, I'm just talking about the Knight of Swords. I'm not saying it has to be a masculine there. But there's this energy of also like, I can't stop thinking about Pisces, but Pisces seems to be moving on without me, or Pisces seems to even be having fun. But all I can think about is how much I missed that time I was emotionally content. And with the Knight of Swords, it's like, I got to take action. I got to go quickly and speak my truth. It can even be that this person is even having visions with the 6 of Cups of you having this emotional contentment with someone else. And they're like, no, it's got to be me. You know, there's no one else that can make me feel that way. So I don't want someone else making you feel that way. Like, I don't want to risk it. And with the 5 of Pentacles in reverse with the Ace of Wands up right here, it's like this person is very clear about what they choose now. They're very clear about what they want now. And with the Hermit, yeah, they've had time to really look at, what the star is in their lantern. Oh my gosh. And to finally admit and acknowledge that they do actually have feelings for you. Deep feelings for you, and that, you know, they've gotten themselves to a place where they can deal with that, where they can handle the feelings that they have for you, Pisces. All right, let me get you some messages. Whew, Pisces, my goodness. All right, next time I see you, it will be for my daughter's place. All right, it's the birthday weekend. Okay, guys, if you are dealing with a water sign, I want to talk to you. I am still moved by you. I am overthinking everything. You are the only one who truly gets me. Oh, God, yeah. I am overcoming my fears. Those are the things we definitely talked about in this reading. All right, if you're dealing with a fire sign, you have guarded. I want a future with you. I am making plans. You will always be my secret love. You are hard to forget. If you're dealing with an earth sign, you know, I don't recommend ultimatums, but I feel like in this position, this person was just going to sit on this decision point forever. And I feel like, Pisces, you keyed into that. And, you know, you were like, I'm not going to sit in this place forever. So you better figure it out. And I think, you know, that there are times when, you know, just being very direct and not messing around is good. And I think a lot of times when we are like that, we have a tendency to regret it later or to wonder if it was the right thing to do, because it's easier to just sort of go along with the flow. But I definitely, just from even the energy change after that point in your reading, it's like, I think it was the only thing you could do. Or was, you know, I feel like it was the right thing to do. And I also feel like it was guided by your intuition. Anyway, if you're dealing with an earth sign, you have daydreaming. I remember everything you said. The changes are real. I've been having weird dreams about us. Wait for me. And if you are dealing with an air sign, oh gosh, you have doubting, which we saw on the bottom of the deck here, repressing. You changed my whole direction. Triggered, and you have one that fell on the floor. Our eye contact is insane. All right, Pisces, this is what I have for you. I hope it helps. I hope it brings you some peace and clarity. And if it does, let me know, please. I'd love to hear from you. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Any and all are welcome and appreciated. Okay, until next time, guys, I send you off with all my very best. Always, always, always. Bye-bye.